The message arrived in the middle of a silent shift. A single SOS, weak and broken, drifting through space like a dying breath. Commander Hale was the first to read it. He stood on the bridge of the human dreadnought Titanfall, a ship feared across half the galaxy. Most species called humans Deathworlders. Some said it with respect, many with fear, and a few with hatred. But everyone agreed on one thing. Humans never ignored an SOS. Hale narrowed his eyes at the screen. The message came from a small colony belonging to the Kalari, a peaceful species known for diplomacy, not war. Their voice in the transmission was shaking, barely holding together. "We need help, enemy fleet, please." There was something strange. The location was deep in neutral space. Too deep, too quiet. The bridge crew sensed it too. No one spoke, but everyone felt the same cold pressure in the air. A trap? A setup? Or something far worse? Hale replayed the audio. Something in that broken whisper didn't sound like fear. It sounded like regret, like someone calling a monster they never meant to summon. "Sir," the navigator said carefully, "should we dispatch a rescue team?" Hale shook his head. "No, we're Deathworlders. We don't send rescue teams." The crew straightened as they waited for his order. "We send the Titanfall." Within minutes, the ship's engines roared awake, blue flames carving through the darkness. Weapons powered up. Armor plates shifted. The ship moved like a hunting beast, finally released from its cage. Whatever waited at the SOS coordinates, enemy pirates, unknown threats, a hidden trap, it didn't matter. The Titanfall was coming, and Mercy was not aboard. The Titanfall dropped out of warp at the edge of the Kalari star system. At first glance, everything looked wrong. Too still, too empty. No civilian traffic, no patrol ships, not even basic beacon signals. A system with 3 thriving colonies should never be this silent. Commander Hale stepped closer to the main screen. "Full scan," he ordered. The results came back instantly, and they made the entire bridge freeze. Every colony in the system was dark. No power, no life signs, no movement, only drifting debris reflecting the cold light of the star. The Kalari hadn't been attacked. They had been erased. Hale's jaw tightened. Something had hit them fast. Precise. Without hesitation. Not pirates. Not raiders. Something far worse. But then the scanner caught something. A faint signal, almost like a shadow hiding behind the planet's rings. A single ship, still active, still waiting. Hale didn't like it. "Identify," he said. The computer struggled, lines of red errors flashing. Unknown vessel. No match in database. Energy readings unstable. The crew exchanged nervous glances. An unknown ship sitting alone in a dead system? That wasn't an accident. Lieutenant Mara leaned forward. "Sir, the SOS came from this system. What if that ship sent it?" Hale shook his head slowly. Or what if it's the reason the SOS was sent at all? The Titanfall changed direction, engines humming as it closed the distance. The unknown vessel remained motionless, as if watching them approach. Then, without warning, it powered up. A massive energy spike lit up the sensors. The ship was not trying to escape. It was charging weapons. Hale didn't flinch. Battle stations. Full shields. The bridge came alive with alarms and red lights. Whatever had destroyed the Kalari was still here, and it had just noticed the Deathworlders. The unknown vessel drifted out from the shadow of the rings, like a predator stepping into the light. Its hull was jagged, asymmetrical, built from dark metal that drank in the starlight. No markings, no windows, no signs of life. It looked less like a ship and more like a weapon disguised as one. Commander Hale felt the tension rising across the bridge. Humans had faced many threats in the galaxy. Pirates, raiders, empires. But something about this vessel was different. It wasn't scared of the Titanfall. It wasn't moving away. It was coming directly toward them. "Range closing," Mara whispered. "Impact in 30 seconds. Hale raised a hand. "Hold fire." The crew stared at him, confused. The unknown ship had already charged weapons. They all expected Hale to strike first, but he watched the screen carefully, his instincts burning. At 20 seconds, the enemy fired. A single beam of red energy cut across space, slamming into the Titanfall's shields. The ship shuddered, lights flickering for a moment. "Shields at 84%, the tactical officer shouted. The beam was strong, too strong for a ship that size. Hale made his decision. Return fire. One warning shot. The Titanfall released a controlled burst of blue plasma that streaked past the enemy hull, a clear message across the void. But instead of slowing down, the unknown vessel accelerated. Straight at them. "Nonigotos chiashin." Mara muttered. Hale shook his head. No fear. The enemy ship unleashed a second volley, this time targeting the Titanfall's thrusters. They weren't trying to destroy the dreadnought. They were trying to disable it. That meant only one thing. They wanted the Titanfall intact. Why? No one on the bridge knew. But the enemy clearly believed they could take the Deathworlders alive. That was their first mistake. The Titanfall shook again as another blast struck its shields. Sparks danced across the consoles, but Commander Hale stood steady. The enemy vessel kept closing in, inch by inch, like it was certain humans would break first. That confidence alone told Hale something important. This ship had dealt with other species before, and it had won. "Sir, shield at 71%, the tactical officer warned. "Hold steady," Hale replied. "Let them think we're hesitating." Mara frowned. "Why? They clearly want to board us." "That's why," Hale said quietly. "I want to know why they want us alive." The bridge fell silent. Every species in the galaxy knew that boarding a Deathworlder dreadnought was suicide. Yet this enemy, whoever they were, seemed eager to try. The unknown ship suddenly opened a glowing rift along its side, an entrance. Mechanical arms unfolded like insect legs, ready to latch onto the Titanfall. "Contact in 15 seconds, someone shouted. Hale raised a hand. "Wait." He replayed the original SOS in his mind. The Kalari voice, the fear, the regret, and something else, something he couldn't quite name until now. The SOS wasn't asking for help. It was a warning. "Sir," Mara asked, "what are you thinking?" "Hale halit slowly." That ship didn't attack the Kalari. It consumed them. It's some kind of collector or parasite or machine built to harvest living beings. The realization hit the crew like cold water. The Kalari weren't just dead. They were taken. 10 seconds. Hale made his choice. Power the pulse cannons. Full charge. Mara blinked. "Sir, at this range, we'll blow a hole through them." "Exactly." The enemy arms reached out, ready to clamp onto the Titanfall. Hale's voice thundered. Fire. A blinding blue pulse erupted from the dreadnought and slammed into the enemy vessel at point-blank range. The darkness around them lit up like a newborn star. The pulse cannon hit the enemy ship with the force of a collapsing star. The shock wave rippled across space, shaking the Titanfall so hard that several officers grabbed their consoles to stay upright. For a moment, everything went white, blinding, pure, absolute. Then the light faded, and the enemy ship was still there, broken but not destroyed. Chunks of armor peeled away. Glowing cracks spread across its hull like bleeding wounds. Strange black liquid, almost alive, dripped into the void and evaporated. The ship twitched, metal rearranging itself as if trying to heal. "Sir," Mara whispered, voice trembling. "It's repairing itself." "Not fast enough," Hale replied, though even he sounded uncertain. The enemy vessel lurched forward, slower now, but still determined. Its weapon sparked to life again, flickering like a dying animal refusing to collapse. And in the static of the comms, a faint noise broke through. A voice. Kalari voices. Hundreds of them. Crying, begging, screaming inside the enemy ship. Mara covered her mouth. "Dear God, they're still alive in there." Hale froze. Now he understood why the SOS sounded like regret. They weren't calling for help. They were warning anyone listening to stay away. The ship wasn't just a machine. It was carrying the Kalari inside it, absorbing them, using them, feeding on them, and now it wanted humans next. "Commander," the navigator said shakily. Incoming energy surge. It's charging something big. The enemy vessel's core glowed a deep crimson, brighter and brighter, like a heart preparing for its final strike. Whatever it was building toward, it wasn't a weapon designed to disable. It was something meant to erase. All hands brace. Highly shouted. But instead of firing at the Titanfall, the enemy ship dove straight under them, racing toward the closest planet. Mara's eyes widened. Sir, it's going after the surface. If it reached the Kalari cities below, no one would survive what came next. The enemy ship hurtled toward the planet, its crimson core glowing like a second sun. Commander Hale gritted his teeth. The Titanfall had one shot, and humans never wasted it. Target the core. Hale ordered. All weapons. Full power. The bridge erupted in controlled chaos. Cannons spun into position. Plasma beams hummed with energy, and missiles locked on with deadly precision. Every crew member knew the stakes. Failure meant not just their lives, but the end of the Kalari forever. The enemy vessel's movements were erratic, almost intelligent, twisting through space like a wounded predator. But humans had patience and strategy. Hale had studied its patterns. He knew its weaknesses. Fire, he shouted. Blue plasma lances shot forward, tearing through the vacuum, striking the enemy hull. Explosions rippled across its surface. Sparks flew. Sections of the ship folded in on themselves like broken metal flowers. The black liquid oozed, hissing in the void, but the core remained intact. Hale slammed his fist onto the console. Concentrate everything on the core. The Titanfall unleashed its final barrage. Plasma, missiles, and pulse cannons converged, hitting the core in a single, blinding impact. The enemy vessel convulsed violently, then exploded outward in a storm of fire, metal, and energy. For a heartbeat, the system went silent. Then, slowly, Hale exhaled. The Kalari cities below were untouched. The planet's surface was safe. The crew cheered quietly, exhausted but alive. Hale looked at the empty void where the enemy had been and allowed himself a grim smile. Humanity had answered the SOS, but not with mercy. They had sent judgment. Somewhere across the galaxy, anyone who thought humans were weak would think twice. The Titanfall resumed its patrol, engines glowing, unstoppable, legendary. Because Deathworlders didn't forgive. Deathworlders didn't forget. And Deathworlders never showed mercy.